welcome back to my channel and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen and this is Jen. My name is Jen. I'm a certified weight loss and nutrition coach who has lost and maintained a 140-pound weight loss, and it is Monday, so it's meal prep day. I have 3 incredible recipes for you. I'm so excited to share them. So if you're excited too, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. Turn your bell on because I do meal prep every Monday, and I actually upload 5 different videos every single week. Down in the description box at the top, you will find my recipe website. That is where you will find all of today's recipes, as well as nutrition coaching. Highly, highly recommend personalized macros and calories. That's what I followed to lose and maintain my 140-pound weight loss, as well as one-on-one coaching for questions, accountability, or if you just want to ask me some direct questions, I'm always here to help you. You'll also find my free Facebook group. Come join us, and links and discounts to my favorite things. So let's head into my kitchen for this week's meal prep. For my breakfast this week, I'm making beef and cheddar biscuits. I need only half of a pound of ground beef, so I'm going to cook up the other half a pound. That way I have it if I want to make taco meat out of it. There's a lot of things we can do with pre-cooked meat. It's kind of batch prepping, having meats and proteins on hand. So I'm gonna set it aside. I'm sure we will find a use for it this week, but let me show you what you'll need. You're going to need all-purpose flour, ground flaxseed, not that Greek yogurt, salt and pepper, fresh chives, garlic powder, baking powder, ground beef. This is 93% grass-fed ground beef, and light shredded cheese. I have my ground beef in a skillet with some salt and pepper. We're just going to brown our ground beef completely. So my ground beef is done. It is cooling just a little bit. I've added 1.5 cups of flour to a bowl. I'm going to add in half of a cup of ground flaxseed, 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Now, if you have self-rising flour, basically that's what I'm making by adding in the baking powder. So if you have self-rising, you can go ahead and use that. We're adding in some garlic powder as well as some salt. And then the recipe calls for 2 cups of Greek yogurt. I just add Greek yogurt until I have dough. Sometimes it's 2 cups, sometimes it's less. It is typically a 1-to-1 ratio, but I don't like to add it all in at once just in case it makes the dough too sticky. So like I said, I just add in my Greek yogurt little by little until I have a dough consistency. So I went ahead and added my chopped up fresh chives, 8 ounces of my cooked ground beef. Now I get to go in with my hands and mix this together, make sure that we get that dough formed. You can only do so much with a spoon. You do have to kind of knead it together and also mix in that ground beef and the chives. And I'm adding in my 1.5 cups of shredded cheese, light shredded cheese, and then going back in again to knead that into my dough. I line my baking sheet with some parchment. I have my oven preheating to 400. I want about 8 biscuits out of my mix, so I'm going to just scoop them onto my baking sheet. I'm going to spray the top with a little nonstick cooking spray so that I can use my hand and kind of form them into a biscuit shape. We're popping these into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. The biscuits are out of the oven. These smell so good. What a great breakfast. I'm going to pair this with some fruit. We've got flax seeds for some fiber, protein with the Greek yogurt and the meat, and some fat with the cheese. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'll go ahead and put in the information here on the screen for you. For my lunch this week, I'm making a 15-minute pepper steak stir fry with rice. You can also do cauliflower rice, but I've got these little instant packs, so it makes it super easy. Let me show you what you'll need. I'm using some grass-fed flat iron steak. This is a leaner cut of steak. These are from ButcherBox. I just resubscribed and I'm so glad that I did. I actually have some discounts for you for ButcherBox down below, including free meat. So I'll link it if you're interested. It is all grass-fed, grass-finished meat, best of the best. So I've got a couple of flat iron steaks, garlic, soy sauce. This is Sucre & Gold, my favorite brown sugar alternative. I will link it for you on Amazon. You can also get it on Nutrition. Sesame oil, cornstarch, fresh or ground ginger, your preference. I'm doing, like I said, microwavable rice and a red and green bell pepper. First thing I'm going to do is slice these up. So first we're gonna mix up the marinade or the sauce for the steak. So I'm going to add in some minced garlic. 1/4 cup of my Sucrin Gold, 1/2 cup of my low sodium soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, about a teaspoon of ginger, and a tablespoon of cornstarch. The recipe also calls for sriracha, which I eliminated because I don't do spicy. So we're going to mix this all together. To my skillet, I added my bell pepper. I do use the Caraway skillet, so you don't have to add any oil, which I really, really like. These are fantastic, toxic-free, non-toxic skillets. I will link Caraway down below if you're interested. I just got this whole collection and I've been loving it. So we're going to allow these bell peppers to start to soften. So my peppers are done. I'm actually going to remove them from the skillet. I'm just placing them on a plate, and I'm just going to set them aside. To my skillet, I'm adding my steak. I went ahead and sliced it into strips, and then we're just going to allow it to sear until it's cooked the way that you like your steak cooked. I'm going to add back in my bell pepper. Now we're going to add in our sauce, and we're going to let it cook until that sauce has thickened. Just kind of keep stirring just so it doesn't burn to the bottom, but we want to let it simmer for a bit, get that sauce nice and thick. All right, our steak pepper stir fry is done. I'm telling you, this smells amazing. I did cook up those couple packs of steamable rice, threw them in a bowl for the week so I can do rice and stir fry for lunch. I'll go ahead and put all the information here on the screen for you. For a sweet treat, for a summer-inspired dessert, I'm making strawberry lemon blondies. I'm very excited for these. So let me show you what you'll need. You're going to need powdered sugar or powdered sugar alternative, flour, fresh strawberries. I'm going to use strawberry chia smash rather than making strawberry puree. Either way, this will be faster. Nice clean ingredients in here. I did get this one from MISFITS Market, but you can also get them on Amazon, so I'll link them for you. Lemon juice, an egg, butter, baking powder, and salt. You're also going to need sugar alternative. That was an important piece. This is allulose. Again, I buy my allulose on Amazon. I'll link it as well. So I have my butter in a bowl. I'm going to add in 1 egg. I can mix. We're going to mix until it is creamy. I added in 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and I'm going to mix that in. I added in 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, just giving that a quick mix. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and if you used unsalted butter, you would add in some salt, and we're going to mix this together. I added some strawberries to my dough and just kind of mixed those in. I'm adding my dough to my 9-inch baking pan sprayed with nonstick cooking spray, and then I'm just going to press that into place. Going into a 350-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes. I added 1 cup of powdered sugar alternative as well as 2 tablespoons of chia smash, and then I'm going to add lemon juice until I have a glazed consistency. So I just add a little bit at a time, kind of like we did with the Greek yogurt. That way it doesn't become too runny. So I just keep stirring, keep adding until I get a glaze consistency. Typically it comes together with very little lemon juice. And there we go, we've got that perfect glaze consistency. We're going to set this aside until the brownies are out of the oven and cooled. So I just pulled the blondies out of the oven. I'm going to allow them to completely cool before we glaze them.
1 hour later.
All right, we are glazed. It looks absolutely amazing. These are those strawberry lemon blondies. So I'll go ahead and put all the information here on the screen for you. Thank you for joining me for this week's meal prep. I hope you enjoyed seeing breakfast, lunch, a dessert, channeling all of my healthy summer vibes. All of the recipes are on my website. It is linked at the top of the description box. You'll also find nutrition coaching, my free Facebook group, and links to all of my very favorite things, including discount codes. Let me know down below if you're going to try these recipes out for yourself. And here's to a successful, healthy start to a new week. Happy Monday, friends. See you in the next one. Bye.